All right, we're live. Welcome to the Writer's Life Special Edition.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you why. With the Ayatollah of Fictionola, Troy Lambert. And subscribe if you haven't already. Punch the like button. And tap the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on one single exciting video. Troy, it's good to see you again. Second time.
Yeah. Second time real quick here. Yeah.
Yes. And I didn't even put this out. I didn't post that this was going to happen. So you're probably, if you're watching this, you're going to be seeing. You're going to be watching it on the replay. Maybe open up the chat anyway, just in case. But so yesterday was sort of a monumental day, but a day that I fully expected and that Troy fully expected. Kindle Vella is shutting down. And so, Troy, what's this mean? What's this mean other than we lose an income stream?
So this is what's interesting is, so Amazon made a lot of mistakes with Kindle Vella, and we know that. And one of them was not, one of them was not opening it up to the international markets where subscription services do the best. We know that, like, we've watched it with Radish and Wattpad and all the other ones, like, they all do well overseas. So especially the Chinese market, the Indian market, even in English, those do really well because people consume stories that way. In the US, people don't do it that way nearly as much. So that's one of the problems that was there with it. And it wasn't supported by advertising. And oddly enough, for a long time, you couldn't read Kindle Vella stories on your Kindle device, which made no sense. I mean, it just makes no sense. So the way Amazon handled it made no sense. So, but what it means for some authors is definitely the loss of an income stream, but at the same time, because of the way Kindle Vella handled things and how Amazon likes things to be exclusive, it's also an opportunity to move to other subscription services and also for other subscription services to emerge. This is a moment when I look at the mistakes that Ream made, and figured if they had just hung in there just a little bit longer, they would be the king of the hill right now. But they blew it, so they're not. So somebody's going to come out of this in good shape. It's just not going to be. It's not going to be Amazon. It's not going to be Ream, and authors will find their way because the IP is yours. Once Kindle Vella shuts down, whatever IP you put out there on Kindle Vella is yours to put wherever you want.
That's right.
So, I think that's part of it. I think the other part, though, is I think we're going to see a trend for direct subscriptions, like we're seeing direct sales. Through Patreon, through other stuff like that, where you can actually see, I know, Timothy, 2 in a row. But yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I think we'll see direct. I think we'll see subscriptions direct because I think that's what's going to happen. Because authors are taking control. Like, many of us are really tired of having to play the big tech game in order to win. And we're thinking there has to be an alternative. And there is. If you can draw people to your website, you can draw them to your own subscription plan, your own subscription service. And new subscription services are going to emerge. Let's be real about that. It's just they're not going to be Amazon driven. And Amazon, I think, had an opportunity. I think they missed it. But because they blew it, basically. So,
I mean, and also, I mean, other littler mistakes, I guess, it quickly became a platform for just romance and fantasy sci-fi kind of thing. But be that as it may, they also were embracing like AI, and they were letting, it became one of those like, we're going to just feed it 1 million stories a day and that kind of thing. And they were allowing it. And like and the reason I know this is because I've contributed every day for about 3 years to the platform. And at one point I was bringing in four figures reliably a month. And that was just for contributing. I wasn't making much in terms of the royalty thing. Nobody does, but then that quickly whittled down to like 3 figures, and then that quickly whittled down to about 2. All in all, I probably made about $7,000 off of it over the course since 2021. Which is your average book advance these days.
Yeah, it's not
So
chump change. It's not
no,
the way you're making your living. But I knew romance authors that were making, some of them, at one point,
yeah,
six-figure advances. I mean,
yeah, there are
six-figure
gonna,
advances, six-figure bonuses
yeah,
from monthly from Kindle
yeah,
Vella.
right,
And so, and it being a romance thing, like romance is what does number one worldwide in subscription services. So it totally
right,
made sense in a lot of ways that that's what was doing the best. But
right,
other stories do well in those
yep,
markets as well.
yep,
So, but I think really, you know, there were a lot of little just downfalls, but I think that one of the things is Kindle Vella could not sustain those bonuses forever because it wasn't making enough money.
no,
So, and what's interesting, so if you look at Amazon's earnings statements, like if you have Amazon stock, which if you don't, probably get some at least for a little while, um,
right,
because their Amazon Web Services is gonna carry them whether they can sell trinkets forever or not.
right,
Um, but if you look at their earnings statements and what they're earning from subscriptions, that went way down in the last quarter. From it was up 30%, now it's up 10%. Like this quarter.
oh,
Okay, well, what that tells us is some subscription somewhere was losing money. Well, what my guess is the one that wasn't paying squat for royalties, but they were paying huge bonuses to authors. That's just a guess. I could be wrong, but
right,
I mean, from a business perspective, I'm like, you can't, for somebody that's earning pennies in royalties, you can't keep paying them thousands of dollars in bonuses every month and have
right,
that math work out to profitable venture. At some
right.
point, that has to flip and you have to start making money, and it just didn't happen for Kindle Vella. So
When they came out this past summer with the Vellies, that contest, I thought, oh, maybe they are going to hang in there because I was really starting to doubt things then. I don't even know if anyone won that competition because they were giving out tens of thousands of dollars
I don't.
of prize money. I don't recall
Yeah,
ever seeing like, and the winner is because they were going to do like 3 winners and 10 runner-ups and give away thousands upon thousands of dollars, and I don't think they did.
yeah, I don't think they did
We're looking
either.
it up right now, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I don't see anybody that won that. I don't know. Maybe it was just quieter winnings that I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't
Nah,
announce
it
it.
would be announced. They would know. We
I
would
don't know why
know.
they wouldn't announce it. But anyway, it would come out somewhere. But I thought the same thing. I thought maybe they're going to throw some weight behind it. Just
Right.
I keep thinking too, like we keep hearing that Apple is going to throw more weight behind Apple Books, or Google is going to throw more weight behind Google Books. And
Right.
it's always one of those things, like you talk to their reps at conferences and they're all real optimistic and they don't actually do it.
Yeah,
They
they
don't
don't do
actually
it.
follow through. But I think at some point that may happen for those two because of Amazon losing market share. I mean,
Right.
and this is just another example of Amazon losing market share. It's also another example of why the exclusive model just isn't a good idea. When it's exclusive to Kindle Vella and you can't put it anywhere else, and you have to wait till 30 days after the last episode to
Yeah,
release it as a novel, et cetera, et cetera. All the rules, eventually, authors get tired of the rules. I don't want
yes.
to play by the rules
No,
anymore. I really don't. I want that freedom to sell things, like the stuff I'm doing after the first of the year with Audible. Like, it's going to be everywhere. Like, if you can find an Audible place, you can listen to it anywhere. And the
sure.
reason is those audiences don't overlap for the most part, and it's multiple streams of revenue off of one piece of content rather than one. And
Mm,
when Amazon is saying, I think that the Kindle Unlimited is still, I think that one is still something, that and the Audible model are models that are not sustainable long term.
no.
They're just not sustainable long term, especially with all the AI things that are happening. They're going to have to make a shift at some point, and what that's going to look like, I don't know. But Kindle Vella, I think, is just a prequel and an example of something that's happening. That's like, the subscription services. If Kindle Vella wasn't making money, it makes me wonder how much is Kindle Unlimited making. You
I
know,
don't know.
those
It
page
can't.
reads are going down. That can't, the amount you get per page reads going down, that can't be a sustainable model for them forever.
No, it
Um,
can't be.
so that doesn't work. You know what I mean? So there's just questions I have about their whole model with subscriptions and exclusivity that I'm like, I don't think that's going to work long term. And as authors, I think we need to be ready for that. If you're counting on Kindle Unlimited and those page reads as a big part of your income, you might want to reconsider. Now might be a good time to go wide, and this might be your warning shot. This is Amazon telling us subscriptions aren't working. So
because I mean, I still use the first 3 months just to get the word out there for the book, get on the hot new bestseller lists and all that stuff, and then boom, it's out. Unless I forget about it, but no, which I do tend to do. But
sometimes.
Otherwise, it's out. I mean, I should keep like a whiteboard, of course, and all that stuff, but I don't.
That's a lot.
But still, Written Word Media came out with their report yesterday, their state of writing or whatever of authors, and and it showed the platforms, who's selling what on where and who's the king of the hill. And Amazon is still collecting 85%. We're still creating about 85% of our revenue. It's just amazing. I was surprised that the draft to digital was not as consequential as I thought. I thought it would be.
It's
getting in a little bit.
That, and direct is getting to be more consequential. But I think the thing about that's important to remember is only the top tier authors that are acting as pros are earning their money there.
Right.
Those are the ones that can go wide and actually sustain that. For a large number of like that lower tier or lower mid-list authors, they're doing everything on Amazon because of simplicity.
Sure.
Right. And so, which I get, I understand, but what that means is that that massive amount of earnings that's coming from Amazon. But there's a lot of those top tier and upper mid-list authors that have said, this is not the long-term answer. And then a part of it too is some of us are doing that thing where we play the 90-day game and then we pull it out of exclusivity and put it wide. And that those earnings in that first 90 days, that makes Amazon look really good. So we're making them look good, while at the same time we're protecting ourselves and making our money. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's interesting, but I think I really do think we have to relook at Amazon in general, and what they're doing and the way that they're headed, and go, hey, this may not be the wave of the future that everybody thinks it's all Amazon all the time. I don't think that's not gonna happen.
I mean, Bezos loved books, and when he was there, I mean, and now that he's not there, it really is sort of it's almost like it's become an afterthought, or maybe even annoying to the powers that be out there. And I mean, if someone told me in 2011 that your book page, your page for one of your books is going to have all sorts of crap, you're going to be advertising for other authors and other products and things like that, I would have said, take a hike. I don't want anything to do with something like that. I want it to be, my product, and that's it. And now you go on there and like you're, it's the Shroud Key, for instance. It's the Shroud Key, but you're also advertising a million other books.
Well, and as authors, we're targeting those spots with ads to try to get next to other authors that we think people would, if they enjoy their books, they would enjoy our books, right?
Right.
So we're perpetuating that by continuing to buy ads from Amazon, that are targeted to keywords, targeted to other authors, targeted to other titles, right? So we're perpetuating that, and when that becomes a non-paying procedure, which the problem is it works for all of us, right? We sell more books, Amazon makes more advertising dollars along with the money they make off of our books, so it's enough to keep it sustained. But at some point, if that flips to where the Kindle Unlimited is like where they're paying out more to authors than what they're collecting from subscriptions, because those page reads and stuff like that, that subscription element's going to go away. And that's going to change your advertising, your Amazon advertising efforts, 100%. So anyway, it's just, this development is not like, it's not something that's going to totally shake up the entire industry, but it's definitely having an impact. And it's telling us what's coming next, some of the things that are coming next, and we just have to pay attention,
So what has Amazon lost? They lost Kindle Worlds. They lost. What else did they have going that's gone now? That used to work.
There was another one besides Kindle
There
Worlds, and
was.
now I can't remember exactly what it was even.
But they used to have like shorts, and they used to have Kindle journalism. They used to have all sorts of like
and they
neat little things.
tried a lot of things along the way besides books, right?
Right.
And the result has been that the things besides books have not worked as well, you know. So,
and now they
yeah.
have the AI.
The AI fiasco is happening. So,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, the AI Audible, but
Oh yeah.
I can't even. I don't know where they're at with it in terms of. I don't know if I'm selling any of those books. For sure, I'm selling the ones that the Audible books that were narrated by a human being, but I haven't been able to track any sales from the AI narration.
Neither have I really, and I don't know. Maybe I should go look at my reports again in a little more detail. But I have a few of those out there. The thing is, what I'm finding is there's a certain audience for AI audiobooks and there's a certain audience for the human narrated ones, you
Right.
know. And I don't know that the audience for the I don't know that Amazon is pushing the AI narrated ones enough and distinguishing them from the human narrated ones enough that people can make good decisions.
Right.
Readers can make and listeners can make good decisions.
Right.
So I
I know
think
they were
this is the
giving them
thing.
away for they were giving them away for free for a long time. Maybe they're
Yep.
still at that point because it was in the beta stage.
Oh yeah, I think it's come out of the beta. Well, maybe not. We should look into that too and check into
Yeah.
that. But it's interesting because I think like it because I think mine costs money now. I'm relatively sure they're not free anymore. But like I said, I don't know if we're giving the consumers, if Amazon is giving the consumers enough information to make a reasonable decision about like
Right.
if they get an AI audiobook, are they going to return it right away because they're like, I wanted a human narrator, and is this going
Sure.
to turn into that Audible return fiasco, the Audible gate that we all went through a few years ago? I mean, I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to say, it's
Right.
hard to tell for sure. But
Certainly, they're not giving us free audio codes to
no,
pass out.
no, they're not giving us free audio codes to pass out for those, and they're keeping that really tightly controlled, and I think they're really just seeing what the reaction is to AI narrated audiobooks in general. I think that that AI narrated audiobooks and regular audiobooks, well, I've talked about this before, will both have a
Right.
place. I mean, I think
Sure.
that's for sure.
It only makes
But I
sense.
don't know how Amazon is going to differentiate those. Like for net right now, like if I have a human narrated audiobook, I can't create an AI narrated one as well for that
Right.
title, you
That's right.
know. So they're not letting me do that, which is actually fine because I don't think anyway, there's lots of things about Audible that just don't make sense. That credit system doesn't make sense, all that kind of stuff. So it's another thing that I think is going to go away at some point, or it's going to change. The pricing is going to change because I don't think they can be making money off of that. So,
Right. I mean, and half the
you know,
time they're discounting your book, the
yeah.
audio book, and it's like I didn't ask for this, or whatever. But
Well, yeah, I didn't ask for it, and now I'm getting even less, even fewer royalties. Anyway,
right.
so from an author standpoint, Audible is anything exclusive with HCX and Audible is a horrible deal right now. Like you
Right.
have to put your audiobooks wide. It's really not even a question. So even if you have AI audiobooks, the ones generated by Amazon, the only place I want those is Amazon, and they can
Right.
do whatever they want with them. But I'm going to put stuff other places, kind of intentionally, but like I just don't see I don't know that they're getting 100% behind that either. Like they're not
Yeah.
making big changes. There's other places that are making, Google audiobooks. When you create AI audiobooks, you can select voices for each section and you can do all kinds of stuff with them.
Right.
And you can't do that with the Amazon ones. I don't
No,
know
you
that they're
can't.
moving that direction to a higher
No.
quality AI audiobook. So if they're not, well, okay, then that's probably going to go away as well because it's just not they're not working to make it profitable
It
for
it seems
themselves
like
or
they
us,
it seems like they launch these things and then it just stalls, and it doesn't grow and it doesn't change. and it doesn't evolve, and then it disappears.
Well, and that's a lot. What's happening is basically, so if we look at Amazon, like all the things they've tried with Kindle, what are we back to? Well, we're back to Kindle Unlimited, KDP, self-publishing, Kindle Unlimited. So a KDP that's not exclusive, Kindle Unlimited that's exclusive, and physical books. And that's what we're back to. And that's what we had in 2011.
Right.
We didn't have Kindle Unlimited probably then. Kindle Unlimited came a little later. But other than that, the only thing that's worked really is Kindle Unlimited. The Audible thing has changed. The way Audible works and the pricing has changed probably 3 or 4 times. I don't see how any of those things are exceptionally profitable for Amazon or for authors. So I'm like, that's kind of not working. So everybody's has said for a long time now, Audible is always wide, never exclusive to Amazon. So you know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of factors there that are anyway. It's just,
I mean, to be honest, to take it full circle to Kindle Vella, I liked it as a tool, as a writing tool, and you've heard me preach that many times. I loved the discipline of every day I'm gonna add a chapter to a new book, and it really I loved it as a tool, and it just so happened I'd make a little money from it. So what I'm thinking now, I already miss it. And and I got so used to writing a certain number of words, running it through Grammarly, and then putting it up on Kindle Vella. And like Harvey Stamborough said, he's like, that's your version of writing
in public.
Writing in public. And he was right. And so what I'm thinking of doing now, speaking of the subscription model, is I'm going to transfer it to my Substack page.
Substack is another option for sure.
And just put a paywall in the middle of the first page, and see if I can't increase my subscription audience there. And even if I don't, it'll still give me that discipline to carry on the way I've been doing it.
You're still writing in public. You still got the discipline. You've still got
my
the
IP.
Stuff that you're doing. It's your IP. You still own it. And in Substack's case, like you can turn around and turn it into a novel tomorrow. You don't have to wait 30 days. You don't have to do any of that stuff.
I can sell it to. I could, if I want to stay hybrid, I can sell it to Down and Out or whatever.
Sell it to Down and Out or whoever.
Yep.
There's very few publishers that are going to say no, you can't sell it to us because you published it on Substack. Like that's not a crossover audience with the people that buy your books. Anyway,
they wouldn't even know.
So it's not even a big deal. So I think there's lots of options like that. Patreon is another one. There's other services that are out there. You can do whatever you want at this point, and I think that this is kind of what Amazon should probably be paying attention to, is that if you shut this down, we can just go wide and put our stuff elsewhere. It's our property.
Right. You could do it in both places. Right. Yeah. I can put it up on Substack. I can put it up on Patreon. I can put it up on BookFunnel at the same time.
Yeah. The Audible project that I'm doing like next year, basically it'll be available on BookFunnel. So you can get it through my website, on YouTube, on a podcast, on Spotify.
On your website.
Everywhere. Right. And so anywhere you listen to audio, you can find a way to listen to it. Right. Any way that you want. It doesn't matter because those audiences don't necessarily cross over, except and the only place it's not going to go is ACX and Audible on Amazon. Right. Because it's shorts and it's not going to work there. So why bother?
What Troy's telling everybody is, now that this is gone, you're no longer exclusive to Kindle Vella. You no longer have to abide by the rules. It's created a huge opportunity for us, is what we're trying to tell you. And I'm going to jump all over. I'm going to start with Substack, and then, just like you said, I think I'm going to do Substack and Patreon and see how that works out.
Yeah. See which one works better. You can always stop one, keep going with the other, or just keep going with both. If they're both giving you pennies, pennies are pennies.
It all, if it's $10 times 100 sites per day, it's fine.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we're all shooting for.
Yeah.
All right, Troy. Well, thank you for jumping on with this.
You betcha.
It was breaking news. You only get the breaking news here at the Writer's Life. Yeah. With the Ayatollah of Fictionola, Troy Lambert. And you can find him at TroyLambertWrites.com, TroyLambertWrites.com. So go there. There's a lot of neat stuff for both readers and writers. It's a really good website, by the way.
Oh, thanks,
very,
man.
very user friendly. And all right, you guys, I will come to you probably on Friday. And Troy and everybody else,